All right, guys, welcome back to Downtown Rams. As always, I'm your host, Alexis Kraft, joined here with my co host, Jake Ellenbogen. And guys, we have a very special guest on the show today. Joining us is Rams cornerback Ahkello Witherspoon. How are you doing? Thank you so much for being here.
I'm doing well. Appreciate you guys having me. Excited to be on the show.
Absolutely. Happy to have you, man. Fun season. Lot of fun. Really impressed with what you're able to do. Love the number, by the way. Number 44. Pretty awesome.
Appreciate it.
Um, just want to start off by asking you what you're currently up to now that the season's over.
Just training, getting the body right to have another go at it. Started 2024, so just really working out and just enjoying family time. Focusing on how to get better and just getting the body right.
And how would all of us Rams fans were very excited to watch you this season. How would you describe your first season as a Ram?
I think it was just an enjoyable experience. I mean, just the people, the group that I had in the DB room, coaches, equipment staff, training staff, everybody was just very respectful and loved to come to work every day. I just really had a joy for playing football.
And, Kello, what did you enjoy the most about this past season?
I think some of the challenges that we faced as a team, down to as a defense, and smaller as a group, and then myself individually. I just really enjoyed some of the speed bumps, the hurdles that we had to overcome, and the way that we handled it, and the resilience we showed, and just to get to what we were able to do at the end of the year. Obviously coming up short, but just very proud of our efforts as a group.
Yeah, I think as Rams fans, we all can 100% agree with that. I know that like amongst the fan base, like one of the sentiments I would say that echoed throughout like Rams social media and throughout the Rams fandom throughout the season was just like how proud we were of this team for, overcoming adversity and for, being who Jake and I thought this team was. Saying no, like this team is going to prove everybody, wrong. Like a lot of people, I felt like underestimated this team, and every week we just felt like you guys were showing us that like you were the real deal, and definitely was fun to watch. So I can definitely agree with your sentiment there. But this team, especially this defense, has a lot of young guys. Is there anybody on the team, offense or defense, who you think maybe, isn't a household name yet, maybe isn't the most recognized name from people who aren't watching the Rams every week, but you think that their time is coming and that, by next season, they'll be a household name or they'll show everybody that they're the real deal?
Yeah, I think first, just the amount of young guys that we have, there's just so many names that come to that list. First, I would say Kobe Turner. I really liked what he flashed this season. Byron Young, I really liked some of the things that he did, and just his growth and just really his approach as a professional. Puka, obviously on offense, I'm expecting him to get better as well. And then the back end, I just have a lot of belief and a lot of faith in all those guys. Darion Kendrick, Jacoby Durant, Rusty Yeast, Q Lake. I mean, there's just so many guys that approach it the right way. When you do that, you set yourself up for a hell of an opportunity to improve and get to the goals that you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. And, talking about the DB room, I want to stick here, here real quick. How would you describe this DB room this year? Because I know, look, there was a lot going on and you guys were, obviously not you, you've been in the league for a bit, but I mean, this was a young DB room, and I feel like, you kind of took over as kind of the leader of that room, especially the corners. But how would you describe the room this year?
I think the room was just very tight knit and very supportive of one another. We had a lot of moving parts at times. We had reactions that were appropriate, but everybody addressed them and moved on and made sure that the spirit of the group was put first. And just commend my group, commend my DB coach for being a hell of a leader, and those guys just taking his information and taking his approach and running with it.
And so, talking about being a leader on defense, you came in as a Ram on a 1 year deal.
Hmm.
And what did it mean to you, and what was your approach to kind of set the tone early, saying, I'll be a leader on this defense and a guy that the young guys can look up to and learn from?
Yeah, I think just the business component of it. I mean, I came in trying to take somebody's job, and that's just the reality of the NFL. And so they always laugh at me because my personality obviously started to show as the year went on, and I kind of got more comfortable. But they always laugh about my approach during camp, just being laser focused, robotic, no laughs, no handshakes, no nothing. Like I'm in here to take somebody's job, and if they don't adopt the same approach, then they'll be the next ones out. And I think they can all respect that, and all appreciate what that does in the way that encourages a group to really be their best on a daily basis.
Yeah, and I've been following your career, since you entered the league, and I remember when you were with the Niners, drafted by the Niners, you go over to Seattle, you have a cup of coffee with Seattle before they trade you to Pittsburgh. So you've been in three different defenses, you could argue maybe four,
Yeah.
before you came to the Rams. Does this Rams defense that you just were a part of, does this vary in any way, or do you think it's pretty similar to what you were doing before?
I think it's similar to what the Niners in Seattle did for a cup of coffee, like you said, but a little different than Pittsburgh. But this is more the defense that I resonate with personally, just because that's where I had a lot of my NFL growth and development those first 4 years in the league with the Niners. Sticky coverage, being able to play with vision, knowing when vision isn't the right thing to do, and get a little stickier in coverage. So it's just playing that cat and mouse game with yourself as well as with the opposing quarterback. So a little bit different than Pittsburgh.
So, going into games, we talk about the couple different teams that, you've played for, but in terms of each game day, every Sunday, what is your pregame ritual? That's something people are always like curious to hear players talk about is,
Yeah,
just the routine and what gets you into the right mindset before you step on the field.
yeah. I would say a cup of coffee is big for me. I like to walk in the stadium with a cup. Just kind of grounds me, and it's something familiar because I'm drinking it during the week as well. So it's just comfortable for me. After that, I would say on away games or home games when my family doesn't come, I'm always on FaceTime. So I'm the guy in the locker room, like not listening to music. I'm just on the phone, whether that be my sister, my mom. My dad's always at the game, so I'm not gonna call him. Uh, but I'm just always chatting and just talking life. Like I'm not even in a football space. And that's just one of the things that's important to me is just not checking in to game mode too early because it's such an emotional grind. I just like to save that energy until it's actually time to turn on kill mode, essentially. So, and the last thing I would say is just my pregame warm up. I take very seriously. Getting very warm. I listen to like the most aggressive rap music that I can. Like, cause I'm not a big like rap music during the week, so I turn it on with the over the ear Bose headphones and just get in my zone. That's kind of how I kickstart the day.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
love that. Um, all right. So quarterbacks, you've gone up against a lot of good ones. Who would you say is the toughest quarterback that you've faced since entering the NFL?
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. Yeah.
Didn't look like
He's
it. You picked him off.
Yeah. It's just It's just he's like a corner. He's like a corner at quarterback. And unless you've been out there and gone against quarterbacks that don't have that type of presence or that swag about him, it's just hard to explain. Like you make a play on him, he doesn't even blink. He doesn't fold. He'll give you the nod, and then the next ball is coming right back at you. So and that's the life of a corner. You make a play, you celebrate, but you strap it up and you lock in for the next play, good or bad, it doesn't matter. So I just got a lot of respect for how he plays the game, um, and just I feel like he makes me better because of the way he's approaching down in, down out. And you mentioned some of the plays I've made against him. I'm not surprised because I'm just in such an intense space knowing that I need to overcome somebody that's extremely talented.
Who's the best receiver that you've covered, or the toughest matchup that you think?
Um, Toughest receiver. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah, he did his thing against me in the playoffs specifically. Just a crafty player, hard player. Like just really enjoys the game of football. You can just tell by his routes, his discipline, his aggression. But I thought he was very talented, and enjoyed the opportunity to compete against him.
Now, my next question for you might seem silly, but would you like to return to the Rams in 2024? I know that you're a free agent. I thought you did a great job this year. You came right in on a prove it deal, and you just slid right in there, and you were CB1 essentially. So, I
Yes.
mean, would you like to return to LA in
Yeah,
2024?
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it just was a great fit. I enjoyed playing ball. Enjoyed being in California, close to my family, and just really loved just the overall energy and the vibe that the team had.
Well, we like to hear that because Jake and I would both love to have you back on the Rams. Very big fans, and I know a lot of Rams fans are also hoping that you're back on the Rams, CB1. But we do expect you to have a lot of interest in free agency. So, what do you anticipate your free agency experience being like this offseason?
Yeah, I think just the fourth time around, I'm just really lowering any anticipation or expectations and just welcoming the opportunity. I think my only expectation is that it's going to be a positive experience. So I'm looking forward to just going with the flow and seeing what's out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you said you've been through a few of them, so it's not like anything new at this point.
Yeah,
Um, but I'm sure it's different, going from college and then you have free agency in the NFL. I mean, I guess it's somewhat similar, like when you're getting recruited, but it must be a different experience. But I wanted to ask you about Raheem Morris because you know, Raheem is very well liked. Anyone I've ever talked to that's been around Raheem, they've said just glowing things about him.
mm,
And Alexis and I were both hoping, kind of just because we're fans of him, that he would get that head coaching job. But it's a little bittersweet because he's leaving the Rams now.
yeah.
What are your takeaways from Raheem Morris as a coach and what you went through this year with him? And what are your takeaways on him going to the Falcons?
Yeah, I think just first, he's just a super consistent person. Not even about the coaching. He just comes in with the same energy every day. He's very respectful or not to people, like picks on them or makes his jokes, but he's very consistent on a daily basis and just really pushes the importance of not riding the emotional roller coaster of the season and just staying kind of somewhere in the middle. From a coaching aspect, he's extremely detailed, concise, and explains the game very simply, but also gets his message across. And then for the Falcons, I think it's a heck of an opportunity for him to because I think he was an interim coach there at some point,
Yeah.
but to have another opportunity to come in and be able to prepare and give his best shot to take them to where they're trying to go, I think it's just great for him, and I'm extremely happy for his journey, and I know that he's going to do a good job.
For sure. I definitely echo that sentiment as well. Really happy for him to have this opportunity. And someone else getting a new opportunity is Chris Shula, who is now going to be the defensive coordinator for the Rams. So, what are the Rams getting in Chris Shula as their new DC?
Yeah, I think similar, consistent dude, hell of a coach, knows football, loves football. I think he's a great person. He's just somebody that's easy to connect with and can hold a room's attention. So same thing. I'm just excited for his next opportunity. Hope I'm able to experience it and take that journey with him.
That's awesome. Yeah, pretty happy for him. A guy that's stuck around since 2017. Kind of rare you see that. Not even, hating on people leaving for better opportunities, but it's just rare to see that. And so it's nice to see the hard work pay off. With that said, hard work has certainly paid off for Sean McVay. He's done an incredible job. He's completely turned this franchise around.
Mhm.
What is your opinion on Sean McVay as your, head coach last year and, potentially your head coach next year and beyond?
Yeah, I think first, just he's a heck of a leader. He loves football more than any of us, so that's fun to be around. Easy to be around. Uh, I think he's a crafty offensive coach as well. Challenges us defensively during camp, and then just challenges the group and encourages the group with his weekly messages and what he envisions the game looking like and what's important. And just stays very consistent. Doesn't ride the wave of a season as well. This season specifically was nice for me because when we were, what were we, 4 and something at a certain point, he had the same energy and just said, we're going to turn this thing around. Like, everybody just keep showing up, ready to work. And that's what we did.
And looking at this year, 2024, what is your biggest goal? I guess it doesn't have to be in the football field, it could be on the football field, but just during this off season and going into next season, what would you say your biggest goal is?
Um, I haven't really picked one, so I don't want to just make one right now. I would say just improvement. My mind is set on improvement. And that's just been the word that's kind of been motivating me through this early off season. Is just acknowledging the impact that I was able to have this past season and how quickly can I flush that and think about getting better on every single play that I made, every single play that I didn't make. Communication with teammates that maybe could have been better, communication with coaches that could have been better. And just really focusing on improving as a player, as a leader, and as a young man. And that's really just my focus.
That's awesome. I want to ask you one question before I send over to Alexis for the final question. I want to get your thoughts. If somebody didn't know, the whole we not me thing, people didn't know anything about the Rams culture, how would you describe what the Los Angeles Rams culture under Sean McVay currently is?
How would I describe it? I would start with a lot of guys that really love playing football. And from there, honesty and communication and collaboration, they just follow naturally because everybody is so serious about what they do. And I think, I mean, I'm not the GM, but I think McVay and whoever makes the decisions, they do a heck of a job bringing in guys that are really serious about their profession and serious about their growth. And so when you sit in a room of collective people that have the same interests as you, uh, there's just so much good that happens, and it's so natural and it's so organic just because everybody is really about their job.
And just kind of in closing, looking at the Rams for 2024, what is your opinion of the Rams' outlook for 2024? A team that uh, made the playoffs, but had in our opinions, way too early of an exit and just a brutal game, and a team looking forward, in my opinion, is to repeat that and make a Super Bowl run. But what do you think the outlook is for the Rams in 2024?
Yeah, I think improvement again, optimism. You got to take what we did last year and build on it. There's no running from it or pretending like it didn't happen or having a short memory. Like, it's important to acknowledge that with a young group of guys in a situation that I guess you could consider an uphill battle, that we were able to overcome it and take the team to the playoffs. And you just expect everybody to get better, everybody to get more mature and get more cohesive and take it even further in the playoffs next year.
Absolutely. And we owe you a lot of credit here, and we appreciate you. First off, coming on our show, that's pretty awesome. And we know you're busy, so it means a lot. Secondly, we appreciate and it doesn't go unnoticed. You came in on a 1-year prove-it deal, and you had to fill the biggest shoes of anybody in the league. Watching Jalen Ramsey go out that door, you had to fill that in, and that's huge. And I don't feel like enough people talk about that. So, I mean, I personally wanted to say thank you for that, because I can't stress enough. I mean, to go from Jalen Ramsey and to not know what the Rams were going to do there. I mean, I was furious when they moved on from him. I even had Andrew Whitworth coming at me for that one. But, in all actuality, though, you really filled in and you did a really good job. And I think your season was underrated. And I don't think you were appreciated enough by the rest of the NFL. I thought you should have been a Pro Bowler. I thought you should have been up there for All Pro. I thought you played really well. You were targeted 98 times and only allowed 48 receptions. I mean, I think this was your best season of your career. And, I'm excited, if it's not with the Rams, I'm still excited to see what you can do, because we're fans over here. We're going to be rooting for you regardless. Hopefully you're rocking the horns next year, but, obviously it's a business and we're aware of that. And, I just wanted to let you know that, man.
No, I appreciate that. I really do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree with Jake. And thank you again, Ahkello, for coming on the show. It was awesome to talk to you. We're big fans. We are very much hoping, again, to see you in our Rams uniform next season. But we will be cheering for you regardless. And I know that you'll have another killer season next season. So, but thank you again. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So that's going to do it, folks. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been Downtown Rams and special guest Ahkello Witherspoon. And hopefully this isn't the last time we hear his name in accordance with the Rams. But until next time, guys, you guys take care. Later, folks.